Okay, now that the issue with the switch has been taken care of, even though it was drilled in kind of the wrong spot, as you can see here, I don't know if it'll focus in on this or not, but you can see we did get into the threads on the female MHS part here. But the nice thing about these is that the ribbed extensions threads are not as long as the threads in the female side are deep. So we don't need those threads that we got cut into, and I've already test fit the switch in there and assembled it, and it's working out just fine. So we're good there. We got lucky. Well, I got lucky anyway. So to move on, what I like to do with the chrome sabers is to dress these up by adding a grip mark line, which I've already done one on here, because I've already shot this video once and realized when I got done doing it that most of what I did was not caught in the frame, so we'll just go back over this again. So what I did is I measured the distance from the edge of the hole here to create what would appear to be a switch box clamp or a parting line for two parts that have been screwed together. And I measured another 1/2 inch from this edge, marked it, and then aligned it with the tubing cutter. Like so. Now, you saw me put the MHS piece in here. You can do this without doing that, but you run the risk of over tightening the clamp in your tubing cutter here and crushing the section of the tube where the line is at to a point where the MHS part won't go through it anymore. So it's a good idea if you're going to do this, if you have a bare MHS extension of some sort, just slip it in there. And it's not going to hurt it. You can only tighten this so much, and you don't need to tighten it very hard because we're not actually trying to cut the tube, we're just trying to leave a mark instead. So you just line it up with your mark, and then just snug it. I'm going to have to loosen this back up a little bit because I already got the mark there. I don't want to cut the tube off right there. And then what you do to do this is, instead of turning the part, you rotate the cutter. And you go very slowly with it. Now when you get close towards where you started, you can watch your cutter and make sure that it's going to line up with the other end. And if you do it just right, you can either push up or pull down on the part as you're turning it, and you can make that realign if it looks like it's going to be a little bit off. Now I've done a lot of these sabers like this, and they don't always line up for whatever reason. Either I move it too fast or too slow, or it just wasn't tight enough, or was overly tight. As you can see here, this one here, that turned out pretty good. It looks like a solid line there, and now it looks like you have a part that's been screwed on. So what I need to do now, I have my starting point figured out, is to measure, see how much distance we've got here, and we've got about, I'd say 3 inches that we'll play with here. So we'll put another mark at the 3-inch mark here. Which, let's do this on the bottom just in case. Normally I would put these marks, the starting points on these marks on the bottom, just for the fact that while it's hanging on your belt or sitting in a display case, if your lines don't match up, then you don't see it as much. It's kind of a way to cheat and hide a mistake, which I've gotten pretty good at, as you can see. So let's just put this line here. We'll just move this out a little bit. Line this. Alright, got it lined up. Now we're going to go ahead and cut the, well, now we're not going to cut the tube, we're just going to make a mark on it. And as I did before, I'm going to move the tool, not the workpiece. So you just wrap it and rotate it. And now, as I said, when we get to this point where we're getting very close to where we started, we can watch the cutter and we'll see if it's going to line up. Looks like we're pretty good. Matches right up. So now we'll have a little gap right there for when we put the pommel on, which you can see I've changed my mind on which one I'm going to use. I'm going to go with the MHS pommel style 3 version 1 on this one instead of the style 8. I just think this looks a little better with that with the style blade holder. And in between here, I'm going to mark off and lay out for some additional lines, which will actually form the bottom grip. So we'll do that one in the next one.